leverage on this program to forestall the exacerbating impact of climate change.
Africa is one of the most vulnerable continents to climate change and climate vulnerability, a situation that unfortunately has been aggravated by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We cannot wait until this silent crisis reaches pandemic levels before we act. We have to act now and do so with gusto. For failure to act now will be catastrophic.
On its part, the African Development Bank, convener of the Virtual Leaders Dialogue on Africa COVID Climate Emergency, is already making progress on climate adaptation financing, but insists that developed countries must fulfill promises made to developing nations.
It is time for developed countries to meet their promise of providing $100 billion annually for climate finance. And a greater share of this should go to climate adaptation.
I ask that by COP26, we have concrete proposals on the table to make access to climate finance easier and faster, including for African nations. Support for climate adaptation in Africa is crucial.
Investment and trade in key environmental goods and services can make climate adaptation much more affordable for Africa.
The Leaders Dialogue received commitments from several African heads of government, the International Monetary Fund, the African Union, World Trade Organization, United States of America, among others. On NTA, Fine Face, NTA News.
In talking security now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this Wednesday decorated the Acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, supported by the Minister of Police Affairs, Maigari Dingyadi, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and other top officers of the police at a brief ceremony held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The Vice President urged the Acting Inspector General of Police to put up his best to salvage and protect the dignity of the Nigerian police force. The task is huge, the Vice President says, promising the support of the administration towards a crime-free society. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo also reminded the acting IGP on the need to diligently implement the community policing program already been executed by his predecessor.
The police must now rebuild, in some ways also, the broken bridges of trust with the public and regain the confidence of the citizenry. This is an ongoing challenge, it's an ongoing task that the police force and all of the senior members of the police force must take on as a responsibility, that of a continual process of building trust with the Nigerian public. One of the ways it can do this is by implementing the community policing policy, which had already taken off, and reconceptualizing policing as a task carried out in partnership with local communities and by officers who are members of these localities. Under your leadership, the force must live up to all of the highest standards of professional conduct and compliance with the rule of law. It must significantly improve the welfare and working conditions of its officers while rapidly scaling up its forensic, logistical and operational capacities to meet today's challenges. You must stamp out the excesses and abuses and the culture of impunity demonstrated by some elements of the force which provoke public outrage against the institution.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo thanked the former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, for a job well done, stressing that the Nigerian people will forever remember his great contributions towards the improvement of the Nigeria Police Force. Meanwhile, immediate past Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu transfers symbol of authority to new IGP Usman Alkali Baba. He becomes the 21st indigenous Inspector General of the Nigeria Police Force. Details of this report will come in our subsequent bulletin. Into other matters, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has applauded the roads rehabilitation project by the Imo State government, describing it as being in sync with the federal government's policy on achieving safer roads. He made this known at the inauguration of the newly rehabilitated Dick Tiger Road in Owerri. Bright Ibucho has details.
The 3-kilometer Dick Tiger Road covers over 10 streets and had been in a very deplorable state for close to 20 years. The road therefore attracted the attention of the Imo State government in view of its economic importance. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while inaugurating the road, lauded Governor Hope Uzodinma for his determination in repositioning Imo State, noting that there can be no meaningful economic growth without infrastructural development.
Anyone who perpetrates violence does not represent the progressive mindedness of the good people of this state and this region. And I call on all of us to come together to resist any attempts to turn progress and peace that this zone is set to experience to conflict and disruption.
Governor Hope Uzodinma restates that the vision of his administration is to ensure easy movement of goods and services across the 27 local government areas of the state, as it will boost commercial activities and real estate.
We've become the torchbearer of the party, spreading the gospel of development with our sterling performance as a standard bearer. By 2023, when there will be another opportunity for the people to choose a party of their choice, I have no doubt in my mind that the entire people of Southeast would gladly embrace APC.
The Dick Tiger Road is one out of the others being constructed across the 27 local government areas of Imo State. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchi, NTA News.
Nigeria has demonstrated more readiness to further deepen multilateral cooperation with the D8 member nations to achieve our development aspiration. This was at the 19th meeting of the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation held online. Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyema, who reiterated Nigeria's commitment in the organization, urged member nations to fully utilize the technology transfer and exchange network platform to promote sustainable development.
Is another progressive initiative that would undoubtedly assist member states' quest to achieve the sustainable development goals of ending hunger, achieving food security, improving nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture.
The minister presented Ambassador Isiaka Abdulkadir Imam as Nigeria's nominee for the post of the Secretary General of the organization. D8 is an organization for development cooperation for Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan and Turkey. The objectives of the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation are to improve member states' position in the global economy, diversify and create new opportunities. In its fight to tackle security challenges, the Cross River State Police Command has paraded 35 suspected criminals arrested for committing various crimes ranging from armed robbery, kidnapping, sexual assault, and vandalism. Udrak 18 reports that the Commissioner of Police, Cross River State, reiterated the commitment of the force to rid the state of criminal elements.
For alleged sexual assault, he is said to be arrested in a hotel in Calabar after he lured one female student to a hotel room and attempted to use sex toys on her. A total of 35 suspects were paraded at the Cross River State Police Command for committing various crimes such as kidnapping, cultism, rape, stealing and receiving of stolen property belonging to the government primary school Atu, as well as armed robbery suspects who have been terrorizing Ikorefanga, 8 Miles and its environs. Several items recovered from the suspects which were displayed at the Cross River State Police Command include locally made pistols, charms, phones, ATM cards and others.
We will continue to be resolute, we will continue to be determined, we will continue to work very hard for the peace and progress of Cross River State.
Some suspects speak.
So Hilux, and the Hilux they wrote anti-cultists, which their office is in a cultural center. So I did not have anything with, so they just came and some of the people, even me, I was afraid. I said, what happened? They picked me up. I said,
the people now kill our patients, our youth. So that's when the problem starts.
The Cross River Rivers State Police Command says it will continue to respond to the plight of the people of the state and urge the public to embrace the strategy of police-private partnership approach through intelligence gathering and sharing, devoid of fear of molestation or betrayal. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
An ongoing industrial action embarked upon by the organized labor in Taraba State has entered second week. Adamu Haruna Adams reports that so far an end is not in sight.
The strike, which has lasted for more than a week, grounded almost every official government transaction in the state.
We want everywhere to be closed. We don't want anybody to operate. Still, I'm calling them to remain at home, as I will tell them, until the government call us, we sit with them after our discussion with them before they hear what we will tell them again.
I am appealing to the labor leaders to please suspend the strike they have embarked upon. I want to assure you that the government is not insensitive to your demands.
However, hospitals, schools, water supply, and other services are all shut down across the state. The situation regarding healthcare services is worsened by the ongoing national strike by Association of Resident Doctors. NTA News visit to the Federal Medical Center, Jalingo, reveals that only skeletal services are being rendered.
We are asking that the federal government should try and sort out the NRD issues. We are also asking for His Excellency, the Governor, to wade into the issues of NLC so that also the other peripheral facilities and secondary healthcare facilities will come on board so that we can be able to take care of the health needs of Tarabans.
The bond of contention between the organized labor and the Taraba state government is implementation of the new national minimum wage. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
Following the strike action embarked upon by the National Association of Resident Doctors, the federal government has stated that while the process of implementation of policies may have been hampered by a few bottlenecks, it remains committed and resolute in meeting the demands of Nigerian health workers. These were the high points of discussions by guests on Good Morning Nigeria. Daniel Adiri tells us more.
Asking for legitimate demands, pay the house officers their remunerations, pay the members of GIFMIX their remunerations, give us a better hazard allowance. Those are one of the few things we are asking for.
We have moved from our own end to the labor end because a kind of dispute, has been declared. Yes. Some of the demands of these, younger colleagues, they are legitimate. We are not disputing that. But we are saying that the way we go about meeting these demands, we need a lot of patience in the system and a lot of understanding. Government paid 32 billion for 3 months. 32 billion. Dr. Mamona will tell you what was in the COVID budget. For it was 20 billion. We started paying, and we couldn't go around. And I had to make a special case. Fought in the Economic Sustainability Committee because there is no money. And Minister of Finance had to go outside the COVID budget of 500 to get another 12 billion for the payment.
While the ongoing strike embarked upon by resident doctors lingers on, government has again reiterated its stand in ensuring full implementation of the Memorandum of Actions for Health Workers. However, stakeholders in the health sector believe issues ranging from discrepancies in agreement to slow implementation of agreed policies be duly deliberated and mutually agreed upon.
NMA wants the strike called off. But what NMA is saying and what NAD is saying is that government should put their act together and do the needful.
Acknowledging the efforts of government thus far in provision of better welfare packages for healthcare workers, they called for a more efficient and fast-track process of policy implementation. In Abuja, Daniel Adiriye, NTA News.
We do apologize for the audio hitch experienced at the beginning of that report. Do bear with us. Still on health, 7th of April every year is commemorated globally as World Health Day to mobilize action towards attaining better health for all, leaving no one behind. This theme is Together for a fairer, healthier world. On this occasion, the World Health Organization calls for urgent action to eliminate health inequities. And joining us via Zoom to speak more on the essence of the day is Dr. Kofi Boateng, Cluster Lead, Universal Health Coverage. Dr. Kofi, it's nice to have you join us on Nationwide.
Good afternoon to you, and I'm happy to be here. Good afternoon to your listeners as well.
Thank you so much. This theme is focusing on elimination of health inequities. How can this be achieved? How can we eliminate health inequities?
Thank you very much. As you know, there are existing gaps in terms of access to healthcare. And you may have noticed that with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the disruptions of health services and economies have even revealed more the challenges that we have in terms of inequities in the health sector. WHO, as you know, ensures that individuals have access to quality good health, because we believe that having a holistic health status of individuals is very critical. And we focus on ensuring that physical well-being, mental and social well-being of individuals are well maximized and optimized for development. So in this regard, this year and every year, we have recognized the millions of people who have suffered from terrible diseases and the unfortunate outcomes of deaths that happened globally.
Okay.
And therefore, this year, we want to look at joining hands with countries and member states to build fairer and healthier world for everyone, so that we can get the full benefit of health for the entire population.
Kofi, I would like to come in there. COVID-19 pandemic has had grave consequences on people already experiencing health inequities. What would be the way out for such groups?
Thank you very much. WHO recommendations around development of strategic preparedness and response plan for COVID-19 has been well accepted and adopted by many countries, including Nigeria. In Nigeria, we are focusing on 3 key areas: prevention, treatment, as well as tracking. And in terms of prevention, in addition to the existing preventive measures such as the wearing of face masks, ensuring hand washing, ensuring social distancing, the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine is also an additional tool that we need to maximize to ensure that we can manage the pandemic. Of course, we are not leaving out the requirement for quality treatment of all cases, as well as surveillance for individuals who may be exposed to the infection.
All right, considering your position, I would like to ask you what progress has been made so far to tackle health disparity amongst nations?
Thank you very much. There have been significant progress. Of course, we cannot ignore the setbacks due to the COVID-19 disruptions. We have seen countries increasing commitments to health financing and adopting different strategies to ensure that individuals have access to quality health care. The major challenge we have had is to try to deep dive onto the parameters that are affecting vulnerable populations that are not reached with quality health services. And if you look at Nigeria, for example, there have been significant efforts in addressing inequities. For example, in terms of health financing, there is currently a law in the House of Parliament or Assembly, the National Assembly, to try to address the gaps in the health financing architecture, especially with access to health insurance, where they want to make this health insurance mandatory. In terms of maternal and child health, the WHO is also supporting the country to implement reproductive and maternal and child health a strategy that would ensure that we look at the spectrum of mortalities and morbidities across the life course and to make sure that we save as much lives as possible. And there are several interventions as well to also mitigate the risk of outbreak diseases of emergencies or epidemics in the country.
All right, Dr. Kofi Boateng, Cluster Head, Universal Health Coverage. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's take a break now. And when we return, Kenny will be up for more reports in Lagos. To stay with us.
The Office of the First Lady of Nigeria, in collaboration with Women and National Development WAND, presents the book Aisha Buhari Being Different by Hajjosani, and a summit on the emerging trends in the role of the First Lady in national development, under the chairmanship of Aswaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, National Leader, APC. Special guest of honor, Mrs. Florusho Alakija. Royal Fathers of the Day, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar, Sultan of Sokoto, His Royal Highness Oba Adeye Eniton Ogunwusi, the Oni of Ife, and His Royal Highness Dr. Ambassador Apollos Chu Egbere Emere Okori I of LMA Kingdom. The event will be hosted by Malam Muhammad Bello, the Honorable Minister of FCT, and then Pauline Talon, Honorable Minister, Women Affairs. The book will be reviewed by Professor Fatai Arimu of the Nigerian Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, and will be presented to the public by eminent Nigerians. Date 8 April 2021, time 9 a.m. Venue, Conference Center, State House, Abuja.
My name is Dr. Faisal Shuaib. I am the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Earlier today, I took my first shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Despite all of the delays, all of the doubts, here we are, Nigerians can finally access the vaccines. I hope that Nigerians will come out and get these vaccines because these vaccines are safe, they're effective, and they truly work. Over the course of the next few weeks, we have to continue wearing face masks. We have to do social distancing. But I know eventually once we're able to get herd immunity, then we'll be able to stop all of these non-pharmaceutical interventions. To get the vaccination, you should go to the NPHCDA website. There's a link on there that you click and you can register and schedule exactly where you want to get your vaccine.
Wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher yo a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ.
The premiere of the new season of The Village Headmaster, initially scheduled for the second quarter of 2021, has now been postponed till further notice. We apologize for this short notice and promise to keep our viewers and advertisers informed as soon as we have a new date.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall.
Hello and welcome to Lagos. 30.11 of private candidates who sat for the February-March 2021 West African Senior School Certificate Examinations obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics, a decline from 32.23% in November 2020. This was revealed by the head of Nigerian National Office of WAEC in Lagos. Inginojan Adams reports.
2,938 candidates representing 40.31% obtained credit and above in the minimum of any 5 subjects with or without English language and or mathematics.
Head of Nigeria National Office of WAEC, Patrick Aragon, announcing the 2021 first series results for private candidates who sat for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. He revealed that a total of 7,690 candidates entered for the examination, a 38% decline from 2020, while 7,289 participated in the exercise, attributing the drop to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The number of candidates that had 5 credits, including English language and mathematics, may not necessarily be a basis for judging the level of performance in this examination. This is because the examination is more or less a remedial one. Some candidates may just need only 1 or 2 papers.
The 2021 examinations, which will unfold in series, is the 4th edition in Nigeria, and so far, 98.42% of the candidates have their results fully processed and released, while 1.58% have few of their subjects still being processed due to some errors on the part of the candidates. In Lagos, Hinginojan Adams, NTA News.
Now the place of gas in Nigeria's energy mix is becoming more secure with the attention the sector currently enjoys from the federal government and other key stakeholders. To further drive the development of the sector, experts say government must focus on implementing policies that remove barriers to investment and promote domestic consumption of gas. Adini Taiwo completes the report.
Nigeria sits atop an estimated 200 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserve spread across oil-producing states in the country. It occupies the 9th position in the global ranking, with exports standing at 929,844 cubic feet. Processing this huge gas deposit into liquefied petroleum gas, liquefied natural gas, and recently compressed natural gas has given the nation a cleaner, cheaper, and readily available energy source for domestic, industrial, and automobile uses, putting domestic consumption at 664,628 cubic feet.
Our resolve has been to embrace policies and promote initiatives that support the utilization of our abundant natural gas resources.
We are also involved in establishing the storage facility for LPG, not just in the Niger Delta, but we extend our tentacles up to Kaduna, Kano, and Gombe State.
Autogas policy, National Gas Expansion Program, and construction of Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano gas pipeline are some of the initiatives targeted at building gas infrastructure and promoting value addition.
If the petroleum industry bill is passed, some of these things will be streamlined, and it will encourage people, even the question of pricing we are talking about, the question of infrastructure, the question of taxation, all these things will be clearly streamlined, and people will then know what is in need for them.
Experts hope that the sector will, in coming days, witness more synergy, particularly between government and the private sector, that is needed to drive its expansion. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you so much, Candy. Threat to the nation's security architecture is promoting advocacy for a comprehensive review and kinetic approach to tackle criminal elements terrorizing parts of the country. Guests on NTA's current affairs program, Tuesday Live, are seeking a paradigm shift to nip in the bud the trend of violent attacks on national peace and development. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Nigeria's consistent push of returning the country to sustainable paths of peace despite continued battle to crush remnant of insurgents and other outlawed groups is being sabotaged by unconventional forces. The development stakeholders say requires a strategic and kinetic approach to contain the growing threat to national peace and prosperity of the Nigerian state.
There is a purpose for this nation. The greatness cannot be underplayed. State actor can come out with military-grade weapons to attack a hardened facility like a police command or a correctional service. That is a clear attack on the integrity of the state.
Criminals live in us. They live within us. They are our kids, they are our brothers, they are our children. And we need to know who they are, because if we sensitize the community, they will give us a lot of intelligence.
On the huge investment of government in the gas sector, experts commended the clinical execution of federal government gas projects aimed at stimulating industrial revolution for national development.
Gas is the future of this country, and there are three key reasons I would say so. It will do for us what crude oil did not do for us. Crude oil delivered revenues to the economy, and therefore, even while it delivered 95% of our revenues, accounted for only 10% of our GDP. But gas is an enabler. Gas will generate electricity that will then transform this country. Gas is an enabler for industrialization.
That this administration has been very intentional about is to increase that utilization from 30% objective today to about 70% in the medium term.
Nigeria has become a net exporter of fertilizers because of the gas utilization, because of the gas availability.
Both the infrastructure and the gas expansion that is required within the domestic economy. That's only when we can get the multiplier effects.
Guests say the successful actualization of the decade of gas will further enhance investment growth rate and increase the gross domestic product by 25%, which is far above the crude oil benchmark. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, has emphasized the need to improve the capacity of the nation's military to enhance security and peace. Governor Fayemi said this while granting audience to the General Officer Commanding 2 Mechanized Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Gold Chibuisi, at the Government House, Ado Ekiti. Kola Adebabui reports.
Governor Fayemi, who noted that the role of the military in protecting territorial integrity of the country cannot be underrated, stressed that a lot needs to be done in strengthening the capacity of the military for a peaceful and varied society. He commended efforts of the force in counter-terrorism and assured of his support in ensuring its operations are successful.
For us, we will continue to try our best to support the military in order for them to be able to assist us.
Major General Gold Chibuisi noted that the familiarization visit became imperative to strengthen military ties with the state government in achieving peaceful society. The General Officer Commanding was on tour of the 32 Artillery Brigade, Akure, to boost morale of officers in the zone. In Ado Ekiti, Kola Adebabui, NTA News.
And Zinret in our Jos studio has the next set of reports for us on Nationwide. Hello, Zinret.
Elizabeth, good evening and welcome to Jos. The Jos University Teaching Hospital has aligned itself with renewed calls to end the spread of COVID-19 as it commences the administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine on its staff. Felicia Daly of Somela has details.
Chief Medical Director, Jos University Teaching Hospital, Professor Edmond Banwat, after receiving the vaccine, says the hospital management is in support of the European Medicine Agency and the federal government in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic.
The advantages of taking this vaccine far outweighs any disadvantage. It is for your own good that you take this vaccine and prevent yourself, if you get infected, from developing illness and that will lead to death.
By the time the general public, at least 70% are covered with the vaccination, we will create what is called herd immunity.
The COVID vaccine is safe, is effective, and the essence of introducing vaccination is to maximize on the need for controlling pandemics of various kinds.
Those who received the first dose of the vaccine are expected to complete the second dose after 6 weeks. In Jos, Felicia Daliop Samaila, NTA News.
Operation Safe Haven, in its quest to rid the society of criminal acts, has paraded 23 suspects for various crimes in Jos and its environs. The report. The suspects paraded include 17 kidnappers, among which 11 are from Kaduna State, 4 from Bauchi, and 1 each from Kano and Plateau States, who are accomplices in the attempted kidnap of one Alhaji Gamboya Wuro of Lishin village in Bassa local government area of Plateau State. Others are 4 persons arrested for robbery along Haskell Lamingo Road, 1 person arrested during a raid in the hideout of suspected Sarasuka members in Rikos and west of Mines, Jos North local government area, while 1 person was intercepted by joint troops of OPSH and NDLEA at Shandam local government area.
We have interviewed them and we have completed investigations on their case, and we have established prima facie case against them, and we will soon arraign them before the law courts.
Items recovered from the suspects include a Harrisburg pistol loaded with 7 rounds of 9mm ammunition, 7 motorcycles, 2 fabricated rifles, 2 live cartridges, 13 cutlasses, 3 daggers, 17 cell phones, assorted charms, 1 tricycle, a machete, a knife, and some substances suspected to be cannabis sativa. The Operation Safe Haven reassured the public of its determination to eliminate criminality, protect lives and property of law-abiding citizens. That's it from Jos. We'll go on a break now, and Nationwide continues with Mina in Enugu.
Contemporary times require practical skills to remain competitive and relevant in your organization. Therefore, take advantage of NTA TV College short proficiency courses to sharpen your professional skills. Basic Broadcast Accounting and Auditing. Date 19th April to 30th April 2021. 2 weeks. Audio Engineering, Operations and Maintenance. Date 19th April to 23rd April 2021. 1 week. Protocol, Event Management and Public Relations. Date 3rd May to 14th May 2021. 2 weeks. Intermediate Camera Operation Techniques. Date 17th May to 11th June 2021. 4 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 40,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all the courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos. Training you to be the best you want to be.
24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
My name is Boss Mustafa, the Secretary to the Government and the Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. I've just had the rare privilege of taking my first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and I can tell you that we are doing very well in terms of our response and the administration of the vaccines all over the country. As strategic leaders, we are supposed to lead by example, and the President did precisely that on Saturday with the Vice President, and we are continuing in that particular direction. The essence of taking these vaccines is to help us really fight this COVID-19 virus, and the combination of the non-pharmaceutical measures and the vaccine is the way to go in 2021 and thereafter.
To drive home the reality of the virus and encourage acceptance of the vaccine, the Enugu State government has launched a campaign against the COVID-19 with survivors of the virus in the lead. The government endorsed the heroes and heroines of the pandemic as ambassadors of the campaign. Susan Eze has details.
On in Nigeria. Yet, some citizens are still in doubt about the reality of the virus in the country. To dispel this doubt and convince residents on the need and safety of the vaccine, the Enugu State government has adopted a strategy, launching a campaign against COVID-19 with a team of survivors as the campaign ambassadors.
So it's a very serious thing, so people should not dismiss it as malaria. COVID is not malaria.
It will be very important we every state in Nigeria to have oxygen plants, because that is what kept me alive.
This team of survivors, tagged heroes and heroines, are to champion the Get Vaccinated campaign across the state and as well promote the non-pharmaceutical measures against COVID.
There will be ambassadors who will share their experiences with their friends, families, and communities.
Meanwhile, COVID-19 statistics in Enugu State as at 31st March 2021 stand at 2,237 confirmed cases, 1,923 treated and discharged, 285 active cases with 29 deaths. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The Director General, Industrial Training Fund, Mr. Joseph Ari, has commended the Enugu State government for being an inspiration and support in the implementation of various skills acquisition programs for youths in the state. Mr. Ari gave the commendation during the graduation of 105 trainees of 2020 National Industrial Skill Development Program, NISDD. Kelechi Ochia reports that the agency distributed about startup packs to the beneficiaries.
The National Industrial Scale Development Program, NISDP, is one of the numerous scale acquisition intervention programs that were introduced in 2016 to drive the achievement of the federal government's job and wealth creation policies.
From the very first day they started teaching us, we started making money. We started producing and selling from the very first day they taught us.
Presenting startup packs to the graduating trainees, Enugu State Governor, represented by his Special Advisor on Human Development and Poverty Reduction, Uche Obodo, urged the graduates to consider the equipment as their ticket to success.
I also wish to call on other organizations with similar mandates like the ITF to come up with sustainable programs for empowerment prerequisite skills for self-reliance, leading to job creation and economic development.
Representing the Director General, ITF, Adeshola Taiwo noted that the program focuses on technical skill acquisition to create jobs that will curb the rising unemployment and breed a new generation of entrepreneurs to transform the economic landscape of the country.
In Enugu State, the program has trained 1,505 citizens and empowered them with startup parks.
High point of the event was the inspection of the exhibition stand in Enugu. Kelechi Ochiara, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Amina. Media practitioners and owners have been enjoined to eschew sensationalism in their publications and show the path of absolute professionalism. Executive Secretary, Nigerian Press Council, Francis Nwosu, handed down the advice against the background of recent media reports that seek to heighten the state of affairs in the country. Anthony Forson reports.
Recent media reports have continued to generate discourse, giving credence to doubt the credibility of such media platforms. It is in the light of this that the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Press Council, Francis Nwosu, says there should be a high level of responsibility and patriotism.
It's unfortunate. We have received several reports of ethnic profiling. Ethnic profiling of herdsmen, killings of the IPOP against any section of the country. It is not in the interest of Nigeria. Whether in the print media or in the electronic media, private or government media, the ethics of that profession must uphold the unity and indivisibility of Nigeria and the oneness of the Nigerian people.
He wondered why sensationalism must be brought to bear in the noble profession, which ought to be guided by ethics and not sensationalism, given the state of affairs in the country, enumerating truth, accuracy, independence, fairness, and impartiality, as well as confidentiality, as the hallmark of the journalism profession. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Let's join Asmao in Sokoto for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Asmao.
Elizabeth, good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Sokoto State Government has established a committee to work with the management of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, on matters affecting land and land administration in the university. Elhat Abdullahi has the reports.
The then University of Sokoto, later renamed the Usman Danfodio University, was among the second-generation universities established in 1975. The landmass of the university covers 5,630 hectares with 61 villages within the university land area. Presenting the report on the land matters of the university at Government House, Sokoto, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lawal Suleiman Bilbis, said it is time to resettle the villages to facilitate the development of the university. He noted that 1,029.72 hectares of land have been earmarked for the resettlement of the villages, including a proposed 2,500 housing units mega city development.
There was an agreement between the university and the villagers that when development reaches their place, they will move. Unfortunately, the development has not reached their place until now.
While describing the matter as complex, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambola said government must work toward addressing the problem to check the discomfort and inconveniences posed to the university community.
It's really very unfortunate because had it been done by then, possibly would have saved this situation.
Announcing the composition of a committee under the leadership of the Tafarikin Sokoto, Ibrahim Gidado, to work with the university management in that regard, Tambol extolled the wise decision of the previous administration in moving out all the communities from the land area earmarked before the commencement of the construction work of the Sokoto State University. In Sokoto, Elhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Nigerian youths have been challenged to always resolve their grievances through dialogue rather than confrontation. This was part of discussions that dominated a one-day program on attitudinal reorientation organized by the National Orientation Agency. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the report.
The nationwide attitudinal reorientation focused on students in tertiary institutions with a view to keeping them abreast on the matter. Part of the objective of the program is to engage Nigerian youths in government policies, programs, and activities in the face of COVID-19 pandemic. It is also to reawaken the conscience of the youths on the need to embrace the national core values and ethics.
We want the youth to key into government policies, programs, and activities so as to shun any uprising concerning government policies, programs, and activities.
Despite a number of social investment programs by both state and federal governments, Nigerian youths still depend on government work.
In the social investment programs, you see, we have the Empower. The government decided to have this program to assist particularly the graduates and non-graduates, particularly in the creative and agro.
Two papers were presented at the event on the impact of youth's participation and involvement in policy making and governance by Nura Abdullahi Attajiri, while the second paper was on insecurity and the Nigerian youths, presented by the DPO Marana Police Station. The national program is expected to cover all the 23 local government areas of the state. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for more news. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmao. Now, talking sports, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the National Sports Festival is not only an avenue for athletes to display their sporting prowess, but a veritable tool for promoting the unity of Nigeria. The Vice President stated this while declaring open the 20th edition of the National Sports Festival, tagged Edo 2020 in Benin City. Elizabeth Omoho reports.
The much-awaited 20th National Sports Festival, NSF, finally kicked off with an opening ceremony at the renovated Samagbamuda Stadium, coming after 1 year of postponement due to a coronavirus pandemic and 27 months since the 19th National Sports Festival ended in Abuja. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, represented by the Minister of Sports, expressed President Muhammadu Buhari's determination in engaging youth productively. He wants both the public and private sectors to invest in sports.
The reach of this festival, it engages our youth, and the National Sports Festival deserves a prominent place in the priority of any government. An investment in both our sports men and women and in sporting infrastructure is most desired.
Governor Basaki emphasized on the need for peace, tolerance, and brotherhood.
Our dear athletes, all of you have come from different parts of the country, and this game belongs to you. Please compete fairly in the games and show us all the products of the many hours you spend practicing to be the best in what you do.
Already, 6,500 athletes are justing for 635 gold medals, 635 silver medals, and 885 bronze medals in 32 sports during the 12-day-long events. In Benin, Elizabeth Omako, NTA News.
For more sporting stories, let's join Kene Imagbudike.
Nigeria Super Eagles leaped 4 steps from 36th to 32nd in the world, according to latest FIFA rankings released on Wednesday, instead of the traditional first Thursday of every month. Nigeria remained third in Africa behind Tunisia and Senegal, while Belgium, France, Brazil, England, and Portugal occupy top 5 places in the world. The 2020-2021 season of the Nigeria Professional Football League has embarked on an 8th mid-season break until the 18th of this month. The league management company says the second transfer window is on presently and will close at the midnight of April 14, imploring all the clubs to use the opportunity to strengthen their teams.
When you have this kind of officiating, definitely you will know the good coaches that are on ground and you will know the good players that are on ground. And now we start to see one of the players playing, you understand, for the Super Eagles.
At the end of the first stanza, Kwara United are on top of the standings with 36 points, while Adamawa United remain at the rock bottom with 12 points in 19 games. The need to discover, educate, empower, and mentor Nigerian girls through impactful sporting activities and programs was re-echoed as the Association of Former Female Athletes of Nigeria, AFAN, joined the rest of the world to mark International Day of Sport for Development and Peace, which is observed every year on April 6.
We know that sport is a unifying factor, and any country that takes sport seriously will enjoy peace considerably. Because the essence of sports is to unite citizens together.
Once the youth are occupied, definitely you minimize insecurity.
This year's celebration centered on reaffirming the place of sport in the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, amongst others. With Sports Update, Kenan Ima Abudike, NTA News. And Sports Update ends nationwide today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to connect with us at the NTA. Stand firmly against rape and rapists. Good evening.